Hello, it's Thursday on the dyno with this BMW 335D. I actually quite like these. I'd have one as a daily. Pretty cool cars. So, going to be tuning this one today, stage one. I've got to do the gearbox as well, so I'm going to use flex for that. So, but strapped onto the dyno. Let's give it a pull stock. I run these four-wheel drive, being the X-Drive version. Naturally, there we go. All strapped down, ready to go. So let's get into the run on this one, get set up, and let's get tuning. Right, we're on today, and I hope you can hear me because I'm only running the one mic. So hopefully the sound's okay on this. It is one of them proper road ones, so hopefully. So I'm going to use flex, which is slightly different in terms of software. It's kind of like new looking, but still a bit hard to get around, but we can use it, it's fine. So I'm going to use the whole flex system today, so I'm going to try and set it up. So I'm going to OBD read and write. I'm going to use their data logger, which I've not used yet, so I can have a look into that. And I'm also going to use their map packs to see if they give us enough to be able to actually tune the car. So that's all today, so let's get into this one. I'm going to read the car first, so OBD, I'm using the green wire, which is the E-net wire, because these cars are E-net. I'm going to connect, just do all the bits, okay, so do the seat belt, turn the ignition on. I'm actually running the engine, it's a VR, so it'll be alright. See if this connects, it's all connected. Cafe, do you want to save it? Yes, it's always a handy, helpful thing, especially if you use ESIS. So that's all that done. I can read the ISN or I can do a virtual read. I'm obviously going to do a virtual read. So that'll give me the file. Do I want the file? Yes, save. There's the file. So that's the first stage done. So that's giving me the read of the ECU. So the next thing I want to do is obviously I want to run the car on the dyno. So I want to go to the logger. So I'm going to go back. This is their V2, by the way. It's like an app. So data logger, next. Data logging checklist, OBD, make sure the flex 2 I've got off. So I've got to plug in the red cable, make sure I've got interconnection, engine running, and short best. So now I'm going to have to keep changing cables, which isn't ideal. So let me just swap the cables over to the red one and come back. Right then, so we're on the red cable. So let's carry on. Next stage, connect. Choose mode. 1 to 300,000, advanced. Log complete memory of your unit by RAM logging from 10,000 to 60,000 parameters available. Log previous parameters by diagnostics enter. So I don't know how much this is. Let's have a look. Well, it's not. Oh, they only let me select that one anyway. So this is now giving me everything in German. Ambient pressure, pre-throttle pressure, mass airflow. Okay, this is looking quite crap. Right, let me just set this up then, and then we'll come back. Okay, so I just figured one thing out. They've got like a little drop down at the top, so you can filter by group, which they're saying that you need like boost, common, injection, airflow, rail pressure, ignition, torque, temperature, boost actuators, mass airflow. So I'm going to go through those now and click what I need. That's a lot handier than just having it how I thought it was going to be. So let me just go through those and pick what I need and then come back. So okay, once you've done all that, now I've got another part where you can select sensors you want and make them into gauges or into a chart, which is pretty cool. So that's the next one for me to do. So air mass target, so you can have gauges. What else we got? O2, what do I need to see all the time? Clutch torque, I'll have that, so I've got to do the gearbox 2. Normal operation of pressure, low pressure stage, engine speed at the crankshaft, so we want that, battery voltage, ambient pressure. I need some more bits on here yet, some bits that I don't have. I want injection time, injection and all sorts. So I was going to go back, get more than I've got there. Right then, so once you're set up, you get all the gauges laid out like that. I'm guessing you can change those after because they're a bit iffy at the minute. You can record logging space, all that kind of stuff, and you've got everything logging on the right hand side too. So that's actually looks pretty cool. So I'm going to do it now, do a run, set the dyno up, get us going, and see what this log looks like when I'm finished. Right, so that's the dyno set up, we're all good to go. So one of the main things I'm going to look at today, is up to stage hundreds of these, but I just want to know, is it actually worth fitting an intercooler to these? So I'm logging the before air temp sensor, before temp going into the actual turbo, and then the air temp after the intercooler, just to see what kind of drop we're getting, because I see a lot of coolers fitted to these, but I don't really see much in terms of gains. So let's find out. So that's all done, and as I thought, the actual air intake temp going into the intercooler, or going into the maps, we say is 7 degrees, and but we're seeing around 61 degrees at the cooler. So for a 6-degree day, we're now to 61 degrees. So the answer is probably yes, you do need an intercooler. But now it's just about finding the right intercooler to work with this setup, because obviously that's quite a ramp for the actual pressure. We're actually running at, it's a bit confusing on here, I don't quite like it that much. You have to faff about a little bit. Engine speed at the crankshaft, that's what I want. So at peak RPM we're running 57.8 degrees and 6 degrees into the intake, so that's a good sure sign that the system isn't very efficient, and it is raising the temperatures quite badly. So we're currently at 330, I think, looks like. Let's have a look. Where are you? There we go. So just switch that to DIN. So on a freezing cold day, ratchet 325 HP on the DIN, 460 foot-pound. So not bad. So what I'm going to do now is going to make some changes. So I've already read the ECU. We've got all that. Let's open that quite a few times. So BMW Bosch, load that into WinOLS. I'm going to see how good their map pack is to be able to tune this car using their system. Just delete these off. Files I've already done. So BMW Bosch, drag that in there. I thought I'd tune this car quite a few times. Well, not this car, especially this car, but cars like it. So I'm just going to ignore, sorry. I'm going to open up the file. I'm going to show you the magic system for this. So this is the file. That's what it looks like. Not very excited in a minute. So I'm just going to go use their system to see what their map pack's like, to see if we can use it to tune the car. So it's going to upload that file to their system and see if they've got a map pack for it. They have. So to download that, it's got 212 maps in it apparently. So let's see what we've got. Just wait for it to load. You do need to be using WinOLS 5 for this option, and I think it's 20 credits, works out to about 20 euros. So see what we've got. So close all folders. So we've got air control maps, engine torque limiters, engine torque request maps, exhaust gas temperature maps, gearbox torque limiter maps, idle speed, injection rail, smoke, sport display calibration, torque monitoring, turbo boost pressure. Now the thing with the turbo boost pressure, if it's anything like their packs, yeah, it doesn't really tell you if what's a low turbo and what's a high turbo, so it's not that great for that. So if they are watching, change your map packs just so we know what's going on. Then we've got turbo boost pressure control, vehicle speed limiters, and obviously the potential maps is what WinOLS has found already, but they're not actual maps. They're just kind of, it knows the Bosch layout and what a map should look like. It doesn't tell you what the maps are though. So far so good. So what I'm going to do now is just going to make a quick stage 1 for it, or load in my stage 1, and then just see if there's any maps missing between what I would normally choose and their system. So I was going to go do that. I need 2 hands for this, and then I'll come back to you. Right then, so with my tune loaded in, all these white folders are the folders which I've got actual changes in compared to their map pack. So air control I don't need, engine torque limiters, engine torque requests, exhaust EGT limits, injection system, rail pressure, start of injection soy, torque monitoring, turbo boost pressure, and vehicle speed limits. I've got all changes in there. Obviously there's only 16 out of 18 maps changed, 3 out of 5, 13 out of 5. So it, you know, it's pretty, so I wouldn't say it's comprehensive, but it is pretty decent for you just to be able to jump in, tune what you need to do, which is, you know, what most people kind of need. So that's my stage 1 kind of loaded. So I'm going to just send this to the car using Flex, and then move on to the next stage. So I'm just going to use Flex to actually flash this car now. So write the tune, okay, upload. So that's stage 1 I just built. I did the gauges too. They're in the tune. They're like little, well, they're like offsets inside the tune which we can change to change the gauges on here. So I'm just going to write to that too. I've plugged in the driver's seat belt because that keeps all this alive, so whilst you're flashing, which is obviously something we need. So I'm just going to flash this ECU, and then I'm going to come back once it's all done and see how we get on. Right, so this is still flashing. So this, I'm using Flex to tune this car. So this is how we tune cars, right? You get a lot of stuff on the market where it's saying, I want a live tune, I want this tune, I want that tune. Majority of these ECUs we can't live tune because we can't get on it, the protocols aren't there. A lot of the VW stuff we can, but it doesn't really make much difference, especially at this level of a stage 1. So kind of any tuner can do this. You don't have to be on the dyno, it can be anywhere. It's basically it's a continual session of reading the car, logging the car, making the adjustments in the file and the tune, flash that back to the car, drive the car again, make sure that all the changes you make, the car's liking the changes and the car's performing as it should, and then you just make adjustments from there to the point where it's kind of set up to where either you think the car's, that's where it should be, or maybe the customer wants it in a certain way, and things like that. That's tuning. That's what we do. Like all of the crap that you get isn't like that, and you get different types of tune. So you could be, some companies might say like a tune which is made by somebody else, like APR and things like that, where they have a car or a couple of cars, they do the tuning on it, they get it to a point where they're happy with the software's repeatable, the car's driving nice and all that kind of stuff, and then they sell that as a tune. So the guy will come along with his tool, read the ECU, flash the ECU to upload to APR. The APR will give them the tune for that ECU based on the software version, the box number and all that kind of stuff, and then they'll flash that to your car, do whatever tests are needed, and then that's it. That's your car now with better software on for that, you know, for that car. Obviously you get the issue of over time cars become less kind of like the more running and things like that, and you start to get problems which you wouldn't have had when they had their first batch of cars. But with the good companies, they make different versions of software, so there'll be like another version of software out, or they'll bring out some hardware, the software to go up with that hardware and things like that. It's a progression. The same with this, same with any like tuning company. So that's what you're kind of buying. So if you, the way I see it, if you're buying a tune for say 100 quid or whatever else from a guy who's got whatever tool and he's just come out to your house, flashed it and gone away, the chances of that software being much good is a lot slimmer than the guys who put a bit more effort in. That's not going to say that the expensive guys are going to be better, because they could still be buying the tune from the same guy that guy's buying his tunes from, but they're just putting a higher markup on it. So it's very hard, the tuning scene, to be able to kind of like know what you're going to get. The best way of doing it, I'd say, is just to go into what these guys can do, see who they work with, see what they do, see what they've got, see what effort they put into their work, see what they've kind of like invested into what they want to do and things like that, because the majority of places out there aren't tuners, but they've got a good product. So it's very hit and miss, this tuning scene. They need to be able to understand like what's going on. Like, I've got a lot of dealers who I supply tunes to. I do all the work here, so we get the cars, we chuck them on the dyno, we tune them up, we do what we've got to do, we understand the car. Then they'll buy that as a package. So you'll go in, you'll take your car in there, you'll pay X amount of money, they'll send it to me, pay me, I do the tune, send them the tune, they load it to the car, they test the car. If there's any problems, I help them fix it. If there's not, all good. Yeah, that's pretty much how the tuning scene works. So I'll teach you in YouTube now. It's kind of like the thing I really want to do with the YouTube is I'm going to teach you what tuning is, how do we tune these cars, what's involved in the tuning side, and then we'll work from there to make tunes and all that kind of stuff, get different cars on a dyno, and just start building out like a decent platform of understanding and where you are. And I get to play with the cars too, so it's all good for me, because it just helps everything else. So that's just writ to the car. So what I'm going to do now is just going to run the car again to make sure the changes are, the car's liking the changes. If not, we'll go in, we'll make changes, we'll carry on until we're kind of like where we want to be, and I'll see what's holding us back, because that's what Stage 1 Session's about. It's kind of like seeing what is your next limit. So Stage 1's a stock car. We call them these just to give us an idea of the software involved. It's like a Stage 2 is a bit more involved in software and that kind of stuff, and we need to understand what is actually restricting us, so we're telling you the right things. So if I tell you Stage 1 can make around 380 brake, blah blah blah, if you want Stage 2 you've got to do this, this and this, you kind of want me to know that this and this is an actual thing, rather than me just selling you parts. So that's what we do, that's what we work on, and that's what I want to kind of do with this YouTube channel, is kind of like give you that information. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm just going to run this car now, because that is all flashed and ready to go, and then we'll move on to the next one's Golf R this afternoon. But I'm hoping I can make a few more changes on this one yet, see what's going on with it, and obviously I've got to do the gearbox too. Right, one thing I've now just come across which I don't like, because we basically sell time. So if you make things long for us, then it's not really much good. But I've got no way of saving or loading in a save data log, so I don't have to keep selecting all these all the time, which could get annoying if you forgot to tag something from the previous run and you haven't got it on this log, so you can't look at the difference between the two, and then you've got to go into it and run it again. So that's not great. Obviously people like B-Flash and people like that give us what we need, and then we can just add to it, but it's the same every time, or we can export, save, and whatever else. So that's one update I'm hoping that we're going to see, because that's going to get annoying. Right, so here we go. I'm not even going to bother with the gauges this time. I'm just going to run it and then look after. I've got the boost, I can see everything else I need to do on here, so I'm just going to run it and see where we are. So sorry about that, I've had a few other jobs to do, but we're currently at 355 brake at 637 Newton meters. So the torque's about right, but I need to do a bit more work on that HP to get that up there. So my next bit now is to look at the logs, see if what I'm down on, missing and whatever else, and then start going through it. So with this log, so I'm just going to go through the log, make some adjustments, send it on again, and then come back. So I've gone through the tune, and there's not really loads to change, to be fair, but what I am currently looking at is the current graph is quite decent and flat down from there onwards, so I'm not really pushed where I'm actually taping the power off in the map. So I have made a few adjustments just to see if I can get that just to hold on a little bit more and make a little bit more power out of it without using any more fuel, really, because there is different tables in these that you can mess around with to the point where you're not going to really change the dynamics of the MPG, but you can still make more power out of it. So just a little test, see if I can do it. If not, that's okay. Still a quick car, but I'd like to make some more if possible. So let's just wait and see. So results are in. So yep, we're at 362.7 at 643.8 Newton meters without me doing the box yet. So pretty decent. We always quote anywhere between 360 to 380 brake depending on the car. So I'm happy with that. I'm not adding any more fuel, so we've got no smoke or anything like that. So looking pretty decent. So let's just get onto the box, sort that out, and then pretty much done. So with these, we also have a virtual read or an actual read, which is handy. Get that in focus. Obviously we can write the CAF as well. The CAF needs the coding, so that's pretty cool. It saves the coding when we read, so we can always flash that too. But that's all read now, so I'm going to go load that into WinOLS and export the tune, and off you go. So that's just now flashing. So gearbox tunes are a lot easier in the fact that you kind of get them right once, and that's pretty much good to go for the majority of boxes. So you do everything people want, like the internal torque, raise, shift speeds, manual locks, gear displays, all that kind of stuff. And once you've done all that, that becomes like the tune, if you like. So very rarely have to do much with the gearboxes once you've set one up, which is a lot easier when it comes to tuning. So sometimes you just flash the gearbox, but you're tuning the engine, so that's pretty much done. So once this is flashed, that's the gearbox done, and that's it really. Session complete. Next car. So that is day complete on that 535D. I did a Golf R2, but I'll move that into another video because the video kind of goes on quite long. But I've also got this lovely Porsche strapped down for me first thing tomorrow, so I'll do a bit of coverage on that. This one's running StageX hybrid turbos and all sorts of stuff, so I need to get more into like the day-to-day stuff with you now that I've covered the tools and things like that. So like and subscribe to follow that. So see you in the next one.